Whoop. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Game Aim Plus, where my aiming is gaming. I am your host, the boy G, and we gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right. In this video, we are gonna talk about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero for Nintendo Switch 2. Whew. All right, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It has been out for a pretty good amount of time now. All right, and yes, we didn't get it for the Switch, but that's fine. All right, that is perfectly fine. All right, because we always get all of the Dragon Ball Z games. We get them pretty later than everybody else gets them. Sadly, and that really sucks. Everybody else, they had Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. The Nintendo Switch got it later on as Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for Nintendo Switch. That's perfectly fine. We have it now on Switch. We get all the DLC just as quick as everybody else does, and the game works and plays perfectly fine. And I put so much hours in it, and so has my sons. We've all played the heck out of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. All right. Then also later on we got Dragon Ball Fighters. Oh, okay. I don't believe we got it. No, we didn't get it at the exact same time as everybody else. It's like we had to campaign for that game to come to the Switch. But eventually we got Dragon Ball Fighters, and I'm happy we did. Okay, that is also a great game, a great fighting game, that it could be put up there with a bunch of other fighting games. It was traditional. It didn't fight how, Xenoverse 2 did. It fought different, It was a whole side-scrolling fighting, but it looked great. The way they drew the characters, it looks like an actual anime, like they're fighting an anime. The special effects and all the fighting, all that, And we also got Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. We got that later on the Switch, And it really sucks that, Nintendo always gets the games later on. They don't get them, day one, launch as every other console, Xbox and PlayStation. We gotta wait like a year or 2 years later to get the game, And I think that really sucks. I don't like that. And we're kind of gonna get the same thing now with Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero on the Switch 2. Hopefully if that does happen. But there's no doubt in my mind that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is gonna come to the Switch 2. One, like I said, the Dragon Ball games, we always get them later on. All right, the Switch 2, technically, it's still later on, and the Switch 2 will be able to handle a Dragon Ball Sparking Zero game. The way it moves, the way it acts, the frames per second, the graphics, the everything. Okay, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be a console that can do 4K. All right, from 60 to 120 frames per second, better resolution, better everything. Okay, so obviously it's going to be able to handle a Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to come to the Switch 2. Come on, we all know this. Let's not be naive here, people. And that's fine. And I have Sparking Zero. Not me necessarily, but my son does on his PlayStation 6. I played a little bit of it. It's cool, but that's his PlayStation 6. I don't be playing that thing. I only play my Switch. That's pretty much what I play 99% of the time is my Nintendo Switch. All right? I haven't dipped into my PlayStation in I don't know how long. And not because I don't like PlayStation. I love PlayStation. It's just I've beaten all my PlayStation games, and there's nothing that brings me to go back to PlayStation. Not even the Sparking Zero, because I just play too much Nintendo and too much Switch now. So, and like I said, I have all the Dragon Ball games that came out later on the Switch. Now, when Dragon Ball Sparking Zero comes out later on Switch 2, what you think I'm going to do? I'm going to go cop that joint. All right, yes, I'm going to go buy that immediately. All right, on my Switch 2. And now I will play it to its full potential, to the full maximum. I'm going to go in on that game. I'm going to put so many hours into it. I'm going to play it, beat it, and I'm going to enjoy myself. Because now it is finally on the Nintendo Switch 2. And that's going to make me happy, all right? Because the game is a great game, all right? The way it looks, the graphics, the story, everything you can do in it. You can make your own story with the whole custom thing and all that. The characters look great. There's so much you can do. The fighting looks like an actual anime fight, like if you were watching it on TV. Like, that's how good these fights look. The story, the scenes, the voice acting, everything. Everything about Sparking Zero is dope. Except that it's not on Nintendo, all right? Okay, I get it. The Nintendo Switch, whatever. It won't be able to handle a Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And that's perfectly fine with me. But now, if they do not bring that on the Switch 2, I'm going to be absolutely mind blown and flabbergasted that did not happen. But I know it's going to happen. All right? the Switch 2 is going to get a whole bunch of games that the Switch could not because of the power that the Switch 2 has now. So it'll be able to handle all of these other big games, you know, these high, you know, really super graphically games and the 4Ks and the super duper HDDs and all this extra stuff. Like, it's going to be able to handle that. And that makes me excited and happy to see what other games are going to come. You know, we're already getting, you know, Street Fighter 6. And that's, you know, whatever, I guess they count that as a super high graphical game, whatever, because it didn't come to the Switch, but it will be coming to the Switch 2 because the Switch 2 can handle it, alright? Elden Ring's coming to the Switch 2. Cyberpunk is coming to the Switch 2, because now it will be able to handle these games. So why do you think it won't be able to handle a Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? Because it's going to be able to. Like, this, like, come on, people, there ain't no surprise, you know? It's gonna be, the Switch 2 library is gonna be ridiculous. All right, because we're gonna have all of these first-party games, and now it's going to be able to handle all of these other third-party games that the Switch could not get or it could not handle properly, but it will be able to be handled on the Switch too. So, you know, virtually their library is going to be the best gaming library out of all of the other consoles. Come on, let's be honest. That's just what it's gonna be. So. Yeah, I'm trying to get my Sparking Zero on. I'm trying to get I want to play as Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, all these people in there. Majin Buu, you know, Vegito, Gogeta, Brawly, all these other new characters that are in there. All of that. I want to do all the story modes. I'm trying to go in. All right, because I love Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball everything. All right, I've loved Dragon Ball since I was a child, watching Goku run around as a child. So, yeah, I need me some Dragon Ball Sparking Zero on the Switch too. Let's make that happen. We know it's happening. Don't try to act like it's not Nintendo, because we know y'all are doing it right now. You're working on it, or it's already ready to go. I'm pretty sure it's already ready to go on the Switch too, but it won't be released later. Okay? Watch, mark my words. But, I don't know, yeah. That's all I gotta say about that. Alright, so, yeah. You guys, you let me know what you think about this. Would you want Dragon Ball Sparking Zero to come to the Switch 2? Do you not? Do you think it is? You know, do you actually believe this? Because I believe it. Hey, you know, we ain't dumb, right? Me and you ain't dumb. We ain't dumb. It's coming to the Switch 2. Yeah, if you want it, if you don't, put it in the comments. Talk to your boy. And let's chitty chat. But yeah, there you go, guys. Game Aim Plus. Please subscribe. Click that little bell button. That way, every time I upload a new video, it'll pop up on your phone. Like, you feel me, dog? You feel me? But yeah, y'all have a great morning, afternoon, night, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And I'll catch you in the next one. Boom. Yeah. Woo.